Three bows to the teacher.
Namo Buddhaya. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday guided meditation program, guided meditation and Q&A. Just welcoming an in-person visitor here. Welcome everyone to our morning meditation program. We are continuing this week with our Death Awareness Month. And this is an annual tradition for Dhammadharini that we spend the month of November contemplating death in terms of the Dhamma, in terms of the Buddha's teachings on it, with the idea of that we'll be, we all need to prepare for it. It's something that is going to come to all of us, and we try to have as good a relationship with that as we can, that we can use this as a site of insight and practice and all of this, that it's not, to really try to get an experiential sense of this, because it is inevitable. It is what's going to happen. And we should be ready. So I wanted to start today actually with a very brief, short video from a great teacher, Ayya Khema. Ayya Khema was one of the earliest Bhikkhunis ordained in the Theravada Bhikkhuni revival, and ordained in 1988. And she was known as a very great teacher of meditation and Dhamma. And I was just, when I was looking up various things about death awareness for my own planning, I came across this video and just thought, oh, this is such a nice little video of this great teacher contemplating her own death. At the time when she was interviewed for this video, she had breast cancer already for, I don't know, 8 or 9 years or something, and she's only a couple years away from her own death in this video. She passed away in 1997, and I think the video is 1994 or something like that. And so she's talking about her experience of coming close to her own death, and meeting that in terms of her Dhamma practice, her meditation practice. And so I thought I'd just, let her speak. She's got more experience and wisdom about this than I do. So let her speak, and then we'll go into the guided meditation to sort of bring it home to ourselves. So I hope this is all going to work technologically. Let's see if I can make the sound work properly. Okay, please let me know when I start if you can't hear her speaking, and we'll try again. But this is the late, most venerable Ayya Khema.
Well, the problem with it is that we think it's me.
Okay, sorry, I need to go back a minute. Here we go.
The phenomena of mind and body, well, the problem with it is that we think it's me. And as we think it's me, we have a craving for existence. And as we have a craving for existence, we also have this idea that we need to be somebody. We need to be somebody, and we need to be loved and appreciated, and we have things to do. If we didn't do them, then we wouldn't be anybody. I mean, it's a real circular way of getting into more and more anxiety. So as long as we have this me idea, there is this craving for existence, and non-existence will be very much like being annihilated. And nobody likes to be annihilated. So if one can get a good teacher who can explain it in a way which is clear, lucid, and shows how to practice so that one gets beyond this absurdity. As you hear the sound, you can never hear the hearer. There is no hearer. You can look for that hearer. It's a mental formation. It's an idea that there is a hearer. It's the same with seeing. You can see something. There's no doubt about it. There's a seeing going on. I can see that tree. But where's the seer? How am I going to find that seer? We have the idea that there's a person sitting inside, looking out through the eyes and hearing through the ears. But that's strictly an idea. That's just and that absurdity, we will have to get to the bottom of that. But it's so deeply ingrained, you don't do that overnight. It takes practice, and it takes a good teacher. So I think what one should do to relieve some of that anxiety is to make sure that every day one has taken care of everything that needs to be taken care of. One should never have any people that one is angry at or that is angry at one. One should have harmonized all the relationships. And one should have finished, cleaned up one's papers and not have anything hanging on over one. So feeling that you're ready every day also might help you to feel ready to be dying every day. And that's actually what we're doing. We're dying a small death when we go to bed at night. So people don't pay attention to that. They pay attention to the world, but they don't pay attention to the spiritual aspects which actually govern the world. So because of that, there's a great deal of anxiety and fear and worry. I mean, modern surgery techniques are very excellent nowadays. I mean, you don't get any, you don't have any pain when the surgery is done. Afterwards, there is a bit of pain, depending on how much they have removed. But even that, I mean, it's they give you something to relieve that. So I haven't had a moment of anxiety. I mean, it's long past that one. Those who have practiced could find that a lack of energy can be extremely helpful in letting go of the self-idea. That can be very helpful. If one doesn't struggle against it, that can be helpful, yes. But then, I've been at it for a long time, and I've made a, how shall I say, career of it, if you can call it that. So, for me it was, there was nothing involved, nothing at all. You see, another thing which is helpful, which just comes to mind, if one practices more living in the moment, and then you live in the moment in the hospital. So that's that moment that you live in, and it's okay. It's fine. Everybody's there to help you anyway when you're, very sick. So that's great. And yes, if it is helpful to be very sick and let go. And also one could say that the moment of, or the action of dying, if there's no resistance, is extremely pleasant.
So you got a little touch of that.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? What did it feel like? You felt the energy leaving from your feet?
Mm-hmm. And, well, there seemed to be less and less life energy within the body, and I was just relaxing into that. And I was perfectly willing to let it happen, But then these doctors came around, and they were all excited and desperately wanted me to stay alive, because I think it's their pride, So I thought, okay, all right, if there's that. And then, of course, my Buddha House team came, and I could see in their faces they were really worried, because they could see that there wasn't much going on with me anymore. And my blood pressure just went way down, way down. I mean, like almost not happening. And that's when you lose all your energy. And so they thought of this injection and that injection and got it back up again. And so I
You were
said,
disappointed.
well, no, but it was a very interesting experience. It was a very interesting experience, and now I can say is it's extremely pleasant. And it's just a letting go and, disappearing. And it's very nice. I mean, how often do people want to go on holiday because things are getting beyond them, So now they can disappear and they're all against it. They're worried about it.
It's wonderful. I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
That's
So that's the best thing I can offer.
I wanted to share that as sort of an example of somebody who has practiced a lot with the contemplation of death. I think beforehand, and then also at the time of this, the I guess near-death experience that she had recovered from at the time of the video, but it had looked for a minute there in the hospital like that was going to be her time, and you know, and for her to be sharing about like what that was like for her, just the pleasantness of being able to let go finally with that, is something that for me at least it's encouraging, and to that there doesn't need to be fear, and there doesn't need to be the grasping and the sort of the worry about how will this be, but it can be like that. But I also think that it's she was able to meet it in that way because of her practice leading up to that time. And so then for our meditation today, I wanted to share a little bit of contemplation with you. And this is one that I know Ayake herself often taught. It comes from the Buddha. It's not her invention. It was taught by the Buddha. The 5 subjects for frequent recollection, meant for all of us every day, even more than once a day. But once a day, it's just good to sit down and reflect on what is true about our experience, these 5 subjects. And so I'd like to invite us to come into meditation posture, and I'm going to lead us through these 5 reflections together that are recommended for preparing ourselves for whatever may come in our lives. So, coming into your upright, balanced meditation posture, taking a moment to settle in the body, checking in with the breath, checking in with the mind. Where does it want to be going right now? And see if you can just bring it back here and now to something in the present, whether it's the body or the sounds in the room or the breath. And just take a moment to establish yourself here. And having taken a moment to see what's here and now, when we turn to the reflections. The first one, I am of the nature to age. I have not gone beyond aging. You can say this for yourself. I am of the nature to age. I have not gone beyond aging. And, however old you are, some here may be young, some here may be older, but we're all older than we used to be. I can think of my childhood and certain beautiful memories when I was small enough that my father could throw me in the air, like flying. Too big for that now. And think of my time in younger adulthood, special things, strong memories from that time. And know that those things are past. The body is different now, the mind is different now. And the process is continuing. As long as I live, this body will continue to change. Mind will continue to change. Some things I can do now that I couldn't do before. Some things I could do before I can't do now. I have been aging. I am of the nature to age. I have not gone beyond aging. Take a moment to reflect and let that sink in. See what response there is in this body and mind. The second reflection. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. We all get sick sometimes. Ajahn Brahm says, when you go to the doctor, you shouldn't say, there's something wrong with me, I'm sick. You should say, there's something right with me, I'm sick. Nature. Be expected. Body doesn't behave the way we want it to. You get sick. We've all been sick in the past. Some of us may be right now. Some discomfort, some pain. Maybe here right now. Maybe we can take some medicine for this one. We can do some stretching, some therapy. There's never going to be a time when we're just in perfect health and it stays like that. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. Third reflection. I am of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond death. It will come for us all, sooner or later. This is certain. The time is uncertain, but we know it will happen. We sit with that reflection and just see what comes up in the body and mind in response. I am of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond death. The fourth reflection. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will change and be separated from me. Not only us who will die, but everything we love will fall apart. The clothes we wear, the chair or cushion you're sitting on, the building you're sitting in, not only the objects, but all those we love will also pass away someday. Family, friends, teachers, neighbors. Also subject to sickness and aging and death. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will change and become separated from me. Again, just checking internally, what is the response? And reflect on this, consider this. Bringing kindness and care to whatever that is. The fifth reflection. I am the owner of my actions, heir to my actions, born of my actions, related to my actions. I abide supported by my actions. Whatever actions I shall do, for good or for ill, of that I will be the heir. We're here today because of our own choices. Here in this body, here with this mind, here in this meditation session. Because of our choices from the past. And whatever we choose now, that will determine our future also. We're always free to choose. There are some limitations. You can't choose not to age. You can't choose not to sicken. You can't choose not to die. We can't choose to keep all that we love the same and with us always. We always have choice about how we meet our experience. We're free in that way. And appreciate whatever choices we made that led us to this moment. Commit to this practice of reflection, of acting in a wise way for each moment that comes. As we reflect in this way, these 5 reflections, there may be energy that arises, some reaction, some pushing away, some resistance, some grabbing on or holding on to something beloved. This is energy, this is activity, this is action, the pushing away or the grabbing on. We can train ourselves to let go. Let that energy just flow out through the feet into the ground, as Ayakema experienced. And all that resistance just flow out. If you can. Inviting release. Inviting letting go. And just being with things exactly as they are, however that may be. We can sit together in silence a few more minutes, reflecting on these 5 recollections. And as best we can, training to let go. Training for the peace of letting go. Coming back from meditation. When you're ready, opening your eyes. Moment to stretch a little bit if you need to. And welcome. Welcome all. So, those are the 5 subjects for frequent recollection recommended by the Buddha for all of us as frequently as you wish. Very helpful. And I'd like to invite any questions, any comments, any sharing about this. How was this experience for you? Have you done this before? On one in the room here, and then I'll get to Elaine in just a minute.
Yes, I have done this before. I watched my mother at the end of her life get tired, a woman who never stopped. And so watching her admit that, at 2, I'm done. For myself, being of equal energy in my life, I have gotten to that place of letting go by working very, very hard and getting very, very tired, which is a technique, coping technique, perhaps, for dealing with too much. But I have experienced that nothing really matters when you're this tired, which is a lovely feeling. It's a letting go. I don't know that that's really the best way to approach. Perhaps one day I'll get to there without having to work hard, but I appreciated Venerable's experience of letting go and feeling okay and good about that experience.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing very much. And keep it there in case you want to say more later. Yes, Elaine, you had a hand up? You're here.
Yeah, I did. Thank you, Aya. It was a very peaceful meditation. I tried to think about, I don't know if you call it a sutta, quite often, maybe once a week. I used to be really terrified of dying, and oh, what if I get cancer? What if? I think I'm more afraid of others around me dying now than leaving me. I think about operations where I've lost a hip, and I think about reflecting on the body, the different elements, and I think, well, my hip's somewhere out there, or gone, or burnt, or whatever. I'm not missing it. So, what parts of me would I miss? They started disappearing, right? Like, could I lose a finger? Okay, I'd be okay with that, right? That's a strange way to think about it, but that's my reflections on death. Thank you, Aya.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's not that strange. And yes, we're losing body parts all the time. The hair is falling out, the skin is falling off. It's just the same process when the hip goes. But thank you for sharing that. Madeline, I see your hand. Yes, please.
Thank you. I practice this meditation often. I'm 80 and I have had some heart problems. I've got some stents in my heart, and the likelihood is that I will die suddenly of a heart attack. And just recently, in the past 6 months, I've also begun to lose my sight. So and I'm 80. I was 80 in April. So death is very close for me. And I think it's really important that I prepare for it and let go. My whole life is a series of letting go and simply accepting that I probably won't be alive for very much longer. But who knows? Yes, it's a very, very, very useful meditation, and I do it a lot. I also do other death meditations. Bhikkhu and Alio has a very good death meditation as well. But yeah, thank you for this practice. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful, and thank you for sharing about the benefits from experience. Always very useful to hear from somebody who's really worked with it and found it beneficial. Yes, I'm also a fan of Bhante Analayo's death meditation. I think that's a great one too. Thank you very much, and I'm glad it's beneficial. Okay, I see more hands. Daniel, yes.
Thank you. I think well, this is the first time I've done this particular meditation. I think these concepts are all over the suttas and not just necessarily in this particular one. And I think for me, especially early on, what it did for me was awaken a great deal of compassion, because the sort of realization that all beings are confronting these realities, whether they like it or not, whether they're trying to avoid it or not. And I think so much of our unskillful actions come from refusal to confront those things, and with the fear and the suffering that comes from the reality of those things. And so I think for me, I was able to awaken a lot of compassion for beings, realizing that this is where our unskillfulness comes from. This is where, what produces it. So I think I've found that to be beneficial.
Great. Yeah, we can have so much lashing out and so much just resistance and so many unskillful ways. So yes, for ourselves and also for those around us, this is a good meditation. Useful for that. Thank you. Anyone else? More questions, comments? Nikki, yes.
Hi, it's more of a question about the phrasing, I am of the nature to die or get sick, etc., as opposed to this body is of the nature to die and get sick. So the difference between identifying with me as the body or not. Do you have comments on that?
Well, let's see. I think it is a fairly literal translation of the Pali. So jara dhammam hi. So jara is death, dhamma is dhamma or phenomenon. I am, so aging phenomenon. Jara dhamma amhi, I am. I am an aging phenomenon. That's literally what that means, word for word. Jarang anatito, anatita. Atita means gone beyond. Anatita means not gone beyond. So I am an aging phenomenon. I have not gone beyond aging. So it's using very like natural, normal speech for how we think of ourselves. We don't. Sometimes we may identify with the body, but I think people also have a sense in some way that we're not only a body. We have a sense that we have a mind, that we have feelings, that we have thoughts and other things that go into us, that it's not purely a body. We have some sort of sense that those things are different from each other. And that when there is death, then there's the body, at least for a time, continues. It doesn't immediately fall to pieces, but there's something that has broken up, something that has come, that has changed about that body, and somehow that person, or whatever we call a person, is no longer there. So it's not only about the body, it's about whatever we think of as making up a being. And, the Buddha does not deny that there is something that we call a being. It's not a thing. It's not a, it's not a substantialist thing. Like there is something is a sort of a wrong way to speak about it. But we use this terminology. We use this terminology. We use this concept. We're very strongly into seeing beings as beings, including ourselves. And this meditation is, or this reflection is pointing towards like breaking up that concept, seeing that there's not something solid there that's going to last. And it's not only about the body; it's about like whatever we conceptualize as a being, as ourselves, as a person. And so I think it would be, if we only talk about the body, I think that would be limited. But of course, the Buddha did use conventional speech to refer to himself, to refer to other people. He would not say that, by that he was implying some deep, substantial reality to that terminology, but he did use those terms. He talked about beings. He talked about, when I was a bodhisattva and not a Buddha, he would use that terminology. He'd say, when I was, even referring to himself. He didn't say when this, this impermanent heap of aggregates thought of itself as the bodhisattva. That's not how he phrased it. He would speak in these ways. And it's because it's the way that we speak and think. And then this is a helpful bridge to us to be able to, come to an understanding of what is that and how is it not actually as solid as the way that we speak and think about it. Yeah, because that's my thought on it. But it's a good question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Elaine, yes.
I've thought about this a lot, and death is the final product. But for me, what I deal with more on a daily basis is clinging and impermanence, and what happens before that final date. And will I have enough money? Will I this? Will I that? Will somebody have to take care of me? So the finality, that for me seems like that'll be the easy part. It's getting there, right? Dealing with impermanence and clinging and learning how to keep those in mind and not do it. And that's the hard part for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Aya.
Right. Yeah. I definitely, when I think about death, like if I were to die suddenly, then what comes to mind is like, oh, what about my to-do list? What about all those things I haven't checked off yet? That's one thing. The other thing that I think about is like, would it be painful? And that's the other one that I worry about. The death itself, the idea of just sort of, the losing the energy and just sort of it flowing out as Ayakema recommended, that to me is not frightening, but there's like, oh, I didn't finish my to-do list, and oh, it might be painful. Those are the thoughts that come to me. And so there's where I still have my clinging and my sense of like, I am a person with a to-do list. Conceit about that, things that have to be done. So thank you. Yeah, Madeline.
Thank you. Oh, I just wanted to say, I was just this morning, I was reading the simile of the mountains closing in. It's
Yes.
where the Buddha talks to King, I think it's King Asoka, and says, what would you do, King, if you heard that all the mountains were closing in to crush you to death? And the king said, I would practice Bhante. And that's, I think, this kind of sense that we don't have very much longer. So, better get to it and make sure you're living a life of purity. You're keeping to the precepts. You're being generous. You're practicing the paramis and so on. So it brings a sense of urgency to our practice in our daily lives, is what I think. But I just love that sutta about the mountains closing in. And very often, sometimes to my Dharma friends, I'll say, "Oh, the mountains are closing in. You know, be careful. Don't use wrong speech. Remember, the mountains are closing in." So yeah.
Right. Yes. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes, absolutely. That is a wonderful sutta that I very frequently reflect on. So, or when people ask me advice about, oh, this or that difficult thing in the world, it's like, well, mountains, you know, they're coming. This is how it is. And yes, absolutely, what we should do. We just practice. And I appreciate your voice of experience and wisdom with this. Thank you. You have one more? Okay, we're coming to the end of our time, but Mimi has one more comment here.
I'm doing a long distance walk this year and next, and there was a time where I almost get hit by a car on a bridge, a very, very skinny bridge that people should not walk across, but I was told to go this way over the Ferndale Bridge, and it was 5:30 p.m., getting dusk, and I had reflective gear and lights, and somebody hit something on my pack. They didn't actually hit me, but I got very angry, and no one was around to hear my anger. For the next 20 minutes, I was yelling, "This is not how it's going to happen." And once I got through all of that, I was over the bridge by then, on the other side of the road. And I made a decision then, this is not how, if I'm going to get hit, I don't want that to be how I am accepting that moment. Like, I want to be at peace. And so I'm going to take that. The mountains are closing in as the cars come over the white line. And I'm going to hold on to that as a beautiful metaphor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great sharing also. Yeah, those are the moments in which we see, like, where is our practice? You know, so we do our best in advance, and then we find out. So this is why there's the urgency about it. And yeah, I do. Well, we've come to the end of our time, so I'm going to close here, and hope to see you back for some of you back for the sutta study this afternoon. We're going to be reviewing the sutta that this reflection comes from, or one of them, and one more about how to practice for the deathless. How do we get beyond all of this? So we can close now with paying our respects to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha together. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teachings so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. I'd also like to particularly pay my respects to the late Ayakema and appreciate the Buddha House for putting that video online to share with us today.
Sadhu,